The next topic is explanations of speech errors. Speech errors have long been a source of amusement for many, a source of frustration for some, and more recently, a source of serious study in the field of psycholinguistics and psychology. Speech error, when it is produced, it causes funny situation because it's a kind of a word which is uttered in a very funny manner where the intended word is not communicated and some jumbled sounds are created in the utterance, and that cause amusement for many people. But it does cause frustration for some people because they intend to convey or they intend to utter correct sound or correct word, but due to these errors or slips of tongue, the words are not properly or correctly uttered. So that causes frustration. But recently, this area has become a great source of investigation for the psycholinguists and psychologists to see that what is the mechanism behind these speech errors, what are the causes or the processes that actually lead to these speech errors. It is difficult to understand since the data that needs for the investigation is inaccessible. Therefore, the only method to analyze them is to look at these errors individually and also their relation to the context in which they are uttered. Although these errors are, as said, good for a laugh, they prove to be much greater value for the psycholinguist or in the field of linguistics. Early estimates suggested that upward of 10,000 speech errors are committed in English language. So again, this has become a vast area where the linguists would like to explore and investigate the actual mechanism which is behind the production of these errors. Now we will look at some of the points, some of the explanation that are given. Speech errors are providing linguists with insight into the mechanism behind speech error. It's been seen that there are limitations to how much is available for the study. The process of speech production is largely inaccessible for the observation. But the only method to go about is to investigate and analyze errors individually and also in the context of their surroundings. That can enable us to have a better understanding of the underlying mechanism that occur to produce our speech and investigate the reality of speech production units in word formation. Now, as we have mentioned that upward of 10,000 different speech errors are committed in English language, these errors have become the source of investigation. A preliminary finding from error observation is that errors occur mainly within the same level of speech production rather than between levels of production. So, same level of speech production where one observes errors being occurred. For example, this means in the occurrence of units being exchanged that one phoneme will change with another phoneme but will not change with the syllable as it is a speech unit existing on separate level of production. Now examples, if you look at it, optimal number to moptimal number, this is adding a unit, an example of addition. Then you have reading list to leading list. Now this is basically anticipation. A later speech unit takes place of an earlier one. Then you have person plus people is equal to purple. This is what is blend or blending, where two speech units are combined. Then we have specific, specific. Now, this is the deletion. And then we have thunder and lightning to lunder and tightening. That is the exchange, which is the two units swap positions. To sum up, speech errors from both spontaneous speech as well as laboratory studies have provided researchers with body of data about the production of language and analyze the phenomena of tongue slips. Those that involves just one level of planning with other levels being remained unaffected.